Good morning, everybody. It's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We are sitting here to film this video before we head to the gym. Got our pre-workout ready to go. Already ate our pre-workout meal. Feeling good today. In other news, I'm gonna move on to the subject of today's video. Today I wanted to talk about detaching from the outcome. I think this is a big thing that can kind of cause some struggles for people like us who are trying to make it somewhere big. We're trying to really push through the boundaries of what we thought was possible in our life, and in that we're kind of waiting for this big moment to come, and we're very fixated on the outcome, on the idea that once we reach a certain point, then we'll finally have what we want. And I think we can get a little too caught up in the outcome. I mean, especially when you're talking about, manifestation, things like that. I'm not going to go into that stuff, but, it's always about visualizing, right? Visualizing where you want to go, seeing where you want to go with everything. And I really think trying to visualize exactly where you want to go and seeing exactly where you're headed too clearly kind of takes the point of it away. It takes away the value of the journey we're on. You know what I mean? It's not about the destination, it's about the journey. It's about the friends we made along the way, right? So, you want new things for yourself. That's why you're going on this journey, why you're going on this path towards trying to develop something better for yourself. You're trying to achieve something better for yourself. You want new things. You want a new life. So why do we think that it makes sense to try to intellectualize the path ahead of us based on knowledge from our old life? You'll use knowledge from your old life to teach you certain things and to, obviously that's why you had to learn it. You had to go through the stuff you had to go through to learn stuff, right? But trying too hard to intellectualize the path in front of you isn't going to help you get there. If you understand what I mean, you will, and if you don't, then I'm not going to try too hard to explain that to you. Come back again another time if you don't feel like you understand this now. You may in the future. But, stop trying to decide how things are going to go, and stop trying to input patterns from your old life into the new life that's coming for you. You try to... You tell yourself that, oh, this is going to happen this way because the other person who I saw make success in what I'm doing did it that way, right? So you're taking information that you've learned from the past, from your old life, about how things are supposed to go. Well, do you want to live the exact same life as the person who you're taking that advice from? When you say you're taking advice from somebody who made it to where you want to be, do you want to go down the exact path that they went down? I mean, you can try, but you're probably not going to make it going down the same exact path because it's already been done. Nobody cares. Nobody wants a 2.0 of whoever you're looking at. You've got to do it your own way. So trying to take these ideas of exactly how things are supposed to work out based on what you've seen in the past isn't going to help you. The whole point of you growing and changing the way you are is you're living a new type of life that's never been lived before. Like NBD, never been done. The life you're going to achieve has never been done. So why do you think that you can plan it to such a degree based on information that you've already done? You know what I mean? Based on things you've seen that people have already done. That's not going to help you. Obviously, you're going to learn stuff from that, and there's a duality to that. And if you're not able to understand what I mean and the nuances of that, then you shouldn't be watching this. I believe whoever's watching this gets what I mean by that. So, you're trying to live a new experience. You're trying to do things in a new way that's never been done before. So you've got to kind of detach from the idea not even detach from the outcome, but detach from the path that you've made in your mind for exactly how it's going to work. Detach from, and this can go for anything in your life that's coming your way, anything you're manifesting, whatever, anything that you're bringing into your life based on your actions. I'll just say it like that just to get the woo-woo out of it so you understand what I mean. Anything that you're bringing into your life based on your actions, you want it to be new things. You want it to be new experiences that you've never seen before. So you're going to have to detach from the path you've made in your mind for how it's going to go and start taking steps in directions that you don't understand. Start taking steps in directions where you don't have clarity for exactly how things are going to work out. The only way you're going to really build something new, something unique for yourself, is by taking steps that you've never taken steps that nobody else has ever taken. And the more time goes on and the more we see on social media, we think that gets harder, right? I see the joke of there's now only 3 original ideas left. It's a funny joke and it makes sense, but it's not true. There's so many more ways you can be original and do your own thing and be unique. And by trying, with a conscious effort to live your life that way rather than follow a plan, kind of odd, because I just said a few videos ago, stick to the plan, but I mean in a different way. I'm sticking to the plan of what I need to do each day to make myself better, to achieve what I want to achieve. But the plan shouldn't be to a T. All right, if I'm going to be a musician, my plan should not consist of trying to decide exactly when, how I'm going to get discovered, what I'm going to end up doing with my career, how it's going to go down. Your plan should be make music. Every day, make music. Learn about music. Do things that help you get better at making music. That is the plan that I speak of. The plan is not have it written down in some book somewhere that, all right, I'm going to do this, and then once I get to this level and I have this many followers, this many listeners on Spotify, then I'll do this, and then I'll do this. You can't make that shit up. You can't decide how that's going to go. And I think that's the joy of it. That's the joy of life and living a new experience that no one's ever lived before, is you don't know how it's going to go. That little Drewski thing, I don't know how it's going to go. I don't know. That's how we should be living. We should be living in a way that we don't understand exactly how things are going to work out. We don't have a plan for how we're going to meet our soulmate, how we're going to get the big break in our career, how we're going to find the place we're meant to live and the people we're meant to be around. You can't plan that shit. I talked about that in a different video, kind of to a point. You can't plan that shit. You can't make it up for yourself and just go along this plan. It's got to happen and unfold in the moment, uniquely. That's why they say live in the moment. Don't be living too far in the future, and don't live too far in the past. Live in the current moment, the current day you're living, and just think about what can I do each day in that day to make it as best for me as possible. But don't try to think too many days ahead, or don't be thinking too many days behind and reliving old shit either. So, you gotta, as you're going down your path and you're going down your journey, you've got to start living like a child would. That childlike curiosity, that ability to learn shit the hard way because we wouldn't listen to our parents, right? So think about that, like your parents now are all the people in the world trying to tell you how to do something. All these gurus on TikTok sitting there telling you that, oh, if you want to get to 100,000 followers, you got to post this many times a day, do this, 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 and this, and stop posting these and start posting these. Why would I want to just follow a formula to make a cookie cutter copy and paste TikTok account based on what your account is? Post with the most recent viral sound. Yeah, sure, if I wanted to be just like everybody else. But I'm pretty fucking sure the whole point of wanting to be famous and wanting to grow something for yourself is to not be like everybody else and to be unique so that people like you for who you are. People develop a like for you as a celebrity, as whatever, because you are unique. You are your own thing. if, you can't follow a plan. You can't follow this to-do list of exactly how to reach where you want to go. You have to learn like a little kid touching the stove in the kitchen. Somebody can tell the kid over and over, don't touch it, it's hot. But that kid doesn't understand. He don't even know what hot means. He's never felt hot. So you've got to learn by just touching the stove. You've got to get it over with. Do it yourself. You've got to learn the hard way with shit. And you've got to start taking steps towards what you want without knowing how it's going to go. Without knowing with clear clarity exactly how it's going to pan out. That's the point. That's how anybody who's ever made it big. That's how anybody who's ever done anything really remarkable in this world, they didn't have a plan. They didn't know how it was going to go, and that's why it was so fucking remarkable. That's why it was so fucking amazing for somebody to invent something, to do something new, to create a new song that went, fucking crazy viral. You can't follow the way that anybody else did it. You can't follow some plan that you've made up for yourself. You can have, guidelines, but detach from the outcome looking exactly like you want it to, because it may just end up looking a lot better. You're so caught up with this. Basically, you've been taught your whole life that things go a certain way. So you think, well, if I'm going to be a famous singer, I'm probably only going to be this famous. So, this is my plan of how I'm going to get to here, and that'll be good enough. You could be way bigger than you ever imagined. You could be way more powerful in your field than you ever imagined. But because you're so caught up in sticking to this plan that you don't know how much further you can go, how much better it can be, how much more amazing it can actually be when everything does work out the way it's supposed to, because you stopped worrying about the plan, stopped worrying about things looking exactly how you thought they were going to look, and you started worrying about just taking chances, pushing in new directions and trying new things that have never been done before in different ways. Be unique, be your own self in your creations. Like I said, the whole point of this is we want to live a new experience. We want to live in a way that nobody's ever lived before and see something that nobody's ever seen before. I'm just going to say simply, XXX Tentacion, his career, Juice WRLD's career, they didn't plan it out. They didn't sit down and decide that that's how things were going to go for them. They took crazy chances. They took leaps of faith towards things and just started making art that was unique to them. And then all of a sudden, life swept them up. And now, rest in peace, both of them, because life swept them up in such a way that they lived so much more intensely and so much more of a unique experience than any of us have ever seen, and it was over as quick as it started. And rest in peace to those guys. That shit sucks to think about, but in all reality, they couldn't have planned the way things were going to go for them, and they could never have planned the impact they were going to have on the world. They could have never decided exactly how that was going to look. They just had to do it. They had to take chances and push towards something unknown and do something new and unique for the first time with no guidebook. Start taking action first and gaining clarity second. We all are waiting for this clarity to take action, for this clear view in front of us of how to move forward to take action. But it's never going to come. And you're going to sit there waiting to be ready your whole life, waiting to be ready for this thing forever. And you're never going to make it anywhere because you're so caught up in waiting for this feeling to come to you. It's not going to come. This feeling of being ready for the thing you're trying to do is not going to magically show up at your door. The only way you're going to feel ready and build the confidence in yourself that you feel ready to do the things you want to do is by taking chances and learning. You take a chance and it goes well, boom, you boosted your confidence, you learned something good, you learned a good new thing for your life of how to do this, right? You gained that knowledge. You take a chance and it fails, you also gain knowledge. You learned, right? Like I've said before, you don't want to be afraid of failing. You don't want to be so caught up in trying to do everything perfectly and thinking if you set back or you fail, you're wasting time or you're losing something. You are meant to do things in a new, unique way that has never been seen before, and really, forge new paths, step into new horizons, I don't know what the words are for it, but you get what I mean. So I'm just going to tell y'all simply, if you're waiting to feel ready to create something or to do something, if you're waiting for the clarity to come of how you're going to do what you're going to do, it's not going to, and you need to just start at it. Start small, make a shitty ass first draft of whatever you're doing, and then do it again, and do it again, and do it again. Repeat. Nobody knows what they're doing. The people that make it are the ones that keep doing it. It's not rocket science. It's so complicated, yet so uncomplicated at the same time. Things are going to work out the way they were meant to. All you've got to do is start taking steps forward. I believe something else out there is steering. You just have to keep stepping. If it's a car, if you want to look at your life's journey as a car, someone else has the steering wheel. Not all the time, and you can steer, you can do that. But when it gets to that point where you really start to lock into your purpose and what you're supposed to be doing in your life, and you start really making progress towards the things that are going to matter for you, that are really divinely made for you, you are only going to be operating the gas and the brakes. Something else will be steering. All you've got to do is keep your foot on the gas. Keep making forward motion. Don't hit the brakes if you can avoid it. Just keep going forward. Keep taking steps forward towards the thing, and allow ideas to flow through you naturally. It's a very common it's a very common thought that ideas don't come from us exactly. They come from this other space, and we just kind of feel ideas and we can take them and use them. A lot of great philosophers believe this. A lot of people have believed this idea that that's how ideas work. So let ideas flow through you, and don't get so caught up in trying to judge whether or not it's right or good or it's what people want. It's what you want. It's your creation. You need to create it uniquely and in your own way. You can't follow anybody else's blueprint. I'm going to leave that there. I've told you everything I need to tell you. You get the point. Stop trying to plan it. Stop trying to intellectualize it. Live like a child, learning things for the first time. Take chances. Do shit that doesn't make sense. Do shit that isn't to any plan, that doesn't follow any rules. Just do shit. Do shit that you love, that you feel passionate about doing. Create things that you feel passionate about creating, and everything will fall into place eventually. But if you stop, it never will. If you back off, if you give up, it never will. So keep doing it, keep pushing, head in a direction that makes sense for you, but don't try to plan the path. You don't have a map, you don't have a blueprint, you will never be able to plan the path. You will never be able to plan exactly how it's going to go. So just start doing it. Start making steps towards it, and everything else will follow. And if you are really meant to be something great in this life, you will be, if you just kind of follow that idea. We're going to head to the gym now, drink my pre-workout, get all amped up. It is arm day. God damn, I love arm day. Fucking can't get enough of arm day, to be quite honest. Fucking love it. So, we're going to go in there, continue trying to develop these fucking tree trunks, argue with the wall. Tree trunks can start small, okay? They don't have to be big. Argue with the wall. We're going to see if we can massivize these arms, add some mass. So just going to have to do it. That's about it. All right, I'm probably cutting that out. There's a bunch of silliness, but I'll see y'all in the gym. We're going to try to film some more sets today, getting a little more comfortable filming with people in there. trying to be respectful of them, but I think everybody kind of understands that it doesn't fucking matter. They don't care. Everybody at this gym so far has seemed to be really, really nice people, and they all seem to be very mind their own business able, which is really good. Some people, some places I've been in life are not that way, but at this gym, everybody minds their own business pretty well, and it seems like everybody gets the same idea of like, hey, we're all just in there doing what we got to do, so let's not get all with each other. But yeah, that's about it there. I gotta drive into the gym, drink the pre-workout, gonna get ready to go. I'm gonna film some sets in there for you, film a pump check, and then I'll see you all back in the car after, and we'll keep talking. Howdy there, folks. That was a pretty fucking good arm day. My arms are looking bigger than they ever have. Looking better than they ever have. And the veins, they're gonna get me started, buddy. Holy shit. We're getting all sorts of spider webby shit going on up the arm. I don't know if it showed up on camera at all. I'll have to see. Hopefully you guys will have seen that. But the veins are getting out of hand right now. And by out of hand, I mean they're going from my hand up my arm. They're going out of hand. Fucking nuts, man. Loved that arm day. That was super good. I mean, those are the ones that you just can't ask for anything better. Every machine was open right when I needed it. Got all my sets in. Felt a super strong pump the whole time. Some of those lifts you can feel like you're chasing the pump and it's running away from you. You just can't get that full-blooded muscle feeling, you know. But today was different. Today was a good one. So you guys will have seen the sets there, but I'll give you a rundown quick of what we did. Warmed up the triceps with just a couple sets of rope, really light, just warming up. And then we went right on to the seated dip. I'm trying to really push it on that seated dip. I want that to be my first lift for triceps, heavy. And I want to be pushing the most weight and really trying to improve the weight week to week on that. Which we're doing good at. Still pushing heavy weight on there. Feels really good. Got 3 sets in there. And then we went on to the overhead single arm extensions. 3 sets of those. And then we did some rope. Back to the rope, but with heavy weight this time. Really finishing out. Really getting that lateral stretch. I've said it before. And that was that. On to arms. Sat on the bench, did some arms behind curls. I don't remember how much of that I filmed, but I did film some of those. Those were pretty good. I really like that movement. I really like how you can really see the whole bicep activating as you come up, you know? Like if you're missing that mind-muscle connection, when you're looking in the mirror directly at that bicep, as you're pulling up, you can see the contraction. You know you are contracting. You know, you're not wondering if you're getting it, right? So that feels really good. And then after that, I did some cable curls, single hand with the D handle. And I put my arm like this. And I did some like that, kind of copying a preacher curl type motion, you know, arms in front of you. Did, I think, 2 sets each side on that. And in between, I supersetted with some hammer curls. And then to finish off, I did some hammer curls. And then I started doing some, I think they're Zotman curls. Kind of a variation of a Zotman curl, where I was going regular curl up, down, flipping, up, down, flipping. You get the gist. So basically doing a reverse curl and then a regular curl back to back in succession. And we just did those until we were pumped out. Went right into the pump check, showed you guys that. And then to finish off, I did some more static holds with the dumbbells. Just holding heavy dumbbells down by my side as long as I can. Really, I mean, the pump I feel in the forearms from that alone is crazy. You know, that there's a merit to doing, you know, non-isometric forearm work, you know, really contracting and releasing, but just doing static holds for the forearm, because I think that's kind of where the forearm shines, is just holding on to something for a while and not letting go. So you can really develop that part of the muscle that just grips and locks. The pump you get and the growth you get. My forearms have started to look way bigger since I started doing those. You know, the roll-ups and stuff like that, those are all really great exercises, but the static holds kind of changed the game for me. So we're gonna keep doing those. Not a whole lot more to talk about, guys. It was a good lift. It was a good day for me. I'm gonna go home, eat some dinner, get some protein in, and I mean, yeah, that's about it for the day. That was a super good lift. Glad to be here, glad to do it. My traps feel a million times better today. When I woke up, they were still a little stiff. Once I showered, got moving around a little bit, I took an Advil, loosened up, feeling a lot better right now. I think yesterday, kind of pushing through the pain and getting some work done really helped the traps loosen up. I think if I had just left them, I'd still be as sore as I was. So, good move on my part there. Listening to my body, making decisions on the fly for what feels best in the moment. You know, that's kind of an underrated part of lifting and dieting and all this is listening to your body, right? You can stick to your plan, you know, most of the time, but there's going to be moments where I think if you listen to what your body's telling you and you make a slight adjustment to the plan in the moment for your body's sake, I believe those are the moments where you're really going to start getting that extra growth, right? Those moments where you change up the plan just a little bit because you can feel that your body needs something different in that moment. And I think those are kind of the signs of somebody who's a really advanced lifter, somebody who's really good at what they're doing, and they know how to make adjustments in order to help themselves along, minimize fatigue, maximize growth. You know, little things that you do different to propel yourself on the fly because of the time you've spent developing your skills in that category of knowing what to do and when to do it, why to do it. I think that's something that is underlooked at when it comes to what makes an experienced lifter in the gym. I'm not saying I'm, you know, the end all be all of it, but I've spent a lot of time in a gym. I know a lot about different exercises. I understand a lot about the science of the muscles, the science of dieting. I'm good at that shit, but it's because of time spent. And, you know, people get caught up in time in the gym only relating to how big you get and how good looking you get. I believe also spending more time in the gym and becoming a more experienced lifter is kind of another part of it. That's part of what you're gaining, is that experience and that time in there, really feeling and seeing for yourself how different things affect your growth and really being able to refine your own plan based on that. That's when you start to really see the gains. I mean, I got lucky. I've got a lot of previous gym experience. So coming in this time around from a couple months ago when I really started getting at it again until now, the growth I've made is crazy. In such a short time, you know, the complete recomposition of how my body looks. You guys will have seen it if you watch my TikTok. I have a before and after of just 30 days of this cut and what I look like. And it's crazy, and I think it relates to my knowledge. I understand pretty well what I need to do and how to do it, and I make good adjustments on the fly. And it's really leading into me growing way faster than I ever thought I could have. So just a little flex on my part there. I just wanted to let y'all know how good I am when it comes to the gym. All right, I'm gonna shut up now. You guys have a great rest of your night. Thank you for watching. That was a super good lift. I'm really happy to share it with y'all, and now I'm really happy to get my ass home and eat some food. So I will see y'all later. Y'all have a great night. Take care of yourself. Respect yourself. Be good to yourself.